Welcome, welcome. This is the Bay Area Business Podcast, and I am here with Diana Morello from Morello Accounting Group. So, Diana, you just incorporated. Tell us how it feels.
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah?
I guess we could tell by tax time, but if there's a difference there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel any different from when I was a sole proprietor incorporating, but there are
Okay.
some advantages in doing so. We'll see.
We'll see. How long have you been doing this?
I've been an accountant for 16 years,
Okay.
specializing in QuickBooks accounting software,
Okay.
and I've been in my own business for 5.5 years.
Nice.
It's been great.
Beautiful. So, tell us about what your business does and how you add value to the community.
Well, that's a great question to the community. Wouldn't it be great if every business, local business, was successful in their business, and how would they know? So from a financial perspective, that's what I'm trying to bring to businesses, not just locally, but broader than that as well. Knowing where their financial statements are sooner rather than later, not just for tax season.
Yeah.
So it's specializing in QuickBooks accounting software. We recently are broadening to other accounting software applications as well. At setup, cleanup, training.
Setup, cleanup, training.
And as well as bookkeeping for month-end close through all accounting functions.
Oh wow. Okay. Setup, cleaning, training. That's a new terminology, and that's in the QuickBooks, or is that just books in general?
No, actually, one just describes setup means you just start your business.
Okay.
And you're going into a financial application, whatever one you choose, and what does that look like? You have to have a chart of accounts.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So that's setup.
Yeah.
And then beyond the chart of accounts, there may be features within the software that enable you to provide information from a management perspective, to provide you with good information. I'll give you an example. Job costing.
Okay.
So you could just have your customers there to bill an invoice, but further than that, you can do it on a job level basis so that you can actually see on a particular job what's your profit margin.
Wow.
How are you doing?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the setup.
Yeah.
Now the cleanup, that may be another term too. Software applications, some are more sophisticated than others, some are easy, and sometimes if they're easy, it's easy to make mistakes because you haven't had the training to do things the correct way. And there are some processes from a cash versus accrual. Now I'm getting into, don't want to get too technical for you, but understanding what you're doing. You know, if you're on an accrual basis, creating invoices and entering bills, there's a process to do that the right way. And if you start mixing accrual and cash, it can get you into some trouble from a cleanup perspective. And that's where I go in and see what the client's doing and then see what they're doing wrong so that I can train them to do it the right way.
Yeah. Is it hard for you sometimes to go in and clean up a business that's been doing something wrong for multiple years?
Well, you're right. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but it's actually what I love to do because it's because I like to do challenging work, but it's really rewarding for me to go back to the client and say, this is what you're doing wrong, and I really don't want to see him go down that path again.
Yeah.
And so we that's why we do the training. And then the client is happy because now they can look at their financial statements and they're meaningful.
Yeah.
They can make decisions on them,
Yeah.
And some people, unfortunately, they don't even know. So they don't even know what they're supposed to look at and what it's supposed to look like.
Yes.
And so I want to provide that training to them so that businesses can grow.
Yeah. So you're like a consultant, business coach / confidant, all that, right?
Oh, it's become a lot more than just accounting.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. So, what is a story? Now, give us a story of an aha moment that got you into accounting.
Well, there wasn't really an aha moment. It was actually a sequence of events at a particular time as I was growing and developing my skills and the economy and the event that took place.
Yeah. What year was
my
this?
Relationship with the chamber. It was 2008.
Okay.
First quarter of the downturn in the economy, and as I said, it was a sequence of events that led me to start my own business. But it was actually the Walnut Creek Chamber was a huge part of that.
Yeah, nice. So what did the chamber help? How did that help out? And what was it like being in the business on your own?
Well, you got a lot to do,
Yeah.
right? When you're wearing all those hats.
Always something to do. Yeah.
Well, what happened was that I was going back to school, finishing my accounting degree.
Okay.
And when I finished, where I had planned, my plans had changed because the economy changed, and I had planned to go do what I was doing before, working for someone else, and they were laying people off. So I had gone to the East Bay Women's Conference, and that week that I graduated from school, I got an email, and they have 2 trade shows, vendor trade shows a year, and they were having one. And I'd been encouraged from friends and associates in my past to go into sales or go into your own business. But that was never something I was going to do. But but then I got this email and from the chamber that they were having one of those trade shows. It got me to thinking, could I do this? I had some contacts that at Intuit actually had a long relationship with them.
That's a good contact.
I have a lot of contacts there, but I had a relationship with someone that I worked with because I'm a advanced certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, which there's a lot of support that I get from QuickBooks. And I called her and said, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And I don't have any marketing materials. And she said, I got some. I'll get them to you tomorrow. It's like,
you're like, here we go.
Okay. And then I created a website, and within 2 weeks, I was attending their first event and had business cards. And it's kind of one of those, it's kind of like an overnight success story, I guess. Because within 3 weeks, I was booked full time for 2 months. I already
had clientele
from referrals that people heard that I was going into business for myself.
So let's dig deeper into that. So how do you think that you got all those referrals just from them knowing you, not necessarily knowing that you were good at accounting, but them just knowing you? How do you think you got to that point?
Well, actually, it was from a professional background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had worked for an accounting firm before.
Okay,
so I had relationships, not just with clients, but other professionals that worked with my clients as well, and things just happened. It's just timing's everything.
But do you feel like what do you do for yourself in your personal development regimen that makes people attracted to you?
I'm always learning and growing. I love it. When I learn something, I go, what's next? Okay, I got that. What's next? And that's what I love about the accounting field, to be honest with you.
It's just numbers though, right?
No, it's endless. It's just not just the numbers. It's the accounting software too. So that's the other compliment that I'm not an accountant. I'm an accountant, yes. I have an accounting degree, yes. I'm also an expert in the accounting software. And those two complement each other in such a strong way. Because again, if you know the software, which I do, I know what you can't do in the software or shouldn't do, even though the system lets you do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That'll help out.
It
allows you to do it, but you're not supposed to. Yeah.
Well, you have to know, I guess, when to do it. You know.
Yeah.
There's some things that you do one time. You set up. You hope it's only one time, right?
What's set up? Yeah.
But there's just a method. There's processes and procedures to do things the most efficient, most effective way to have meaningful financial statements.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So what does the word failure mean to Diana?
Learn and grow.
Learn and grow.
Learn and grow.
So fail forward, fail as fast as you can. Just
I learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
And I really honestly don't look at them as a failure.
Do you have an example for us?
Learn from my mistakes. A failure that I learned from. I just think I can't think of one in specific,
You're
but
perfect, that's why.
No, not at all.
Perfect.
But like if I'm constantly evaluating myself and my business, and I think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do have an issue that I can't resolve instantly, it's still on my mind. I was on vacation last week, and I left a client with an issue of debits and credits. I left there going, oh my gosh, debits and credits. I know, I couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes when you do let it go, I mean, I was definitely in a vacation mindset, right? And I was relaxed, and then something just clicked, and I came back to the client, and I said, I didn't let you go, and this is the way we're going to do it, regardless of what we talked about. This is what I recommend.
Yeah.
So. That wasn't a failure, but it was a challenge, definitely.
You had to step away from it.
Yeah, sometimes I do. And absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to do that because it kind of is complex sometimes.
And when you own your own business, and I can attest to this as well, but you're always working. There's always something to do. There's always something you could be thinking about. How do you disconnect or step away from it?
That's a really good question, because I didn't realize this before. I actually changed industries into accounting years ago. Mm-hmm. I was in the production printing industry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I know. When you talk production, I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Fast-paced environment. I could tell where the projects were all the time. And I thought, and then I had a family. And my life felt out of balance. I was on my third child, and
mm-hmm.
And he was sick, and we were at home, but I was on the phone for 6 hours. And I realized, looking at him, it's like, oops, this isn't working for my family. Yeah. And I switched careers, and then I realized it wasn't the industry, it was the person. Mm-hmm. I love a full life. I love to work. I love to solve problems. I like to help people.
Yeah.
And I don't like a lot of downtime, to be honest.
Oh, you don't like downtime.
Well, I went on vacation and relaxed.
Yeah,
that was great. But
so walk us through the 5 p.m. you're off of work. What's the rest of your day like? Do you just hold a book or watch a little TV, decompress?
Well, I try that.
Sleep?
Before it was all about my kids, but my kids are grown, and so now it's finding what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Finding out. I mean, I do like to read, but unfortunately, when I read, I want to read the whole book at a sitting. So
it's working again. Yeah.
So let's read the book and get on with something else.
Wow.
I just aggressive behavior, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but it's paid off.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I like to walk a lot. Look at. I like to smell the roses too.
Yeah.
I think this is a beautiful world. That sounds corny.
It is. No, it is. I'm glad you recognize. A lot of people can't see that. That it is a beautiful world. They're caught up in traffic and their boss and this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah. So, what is your plan for business growth in the next 6 months?
Well, I'm excited about that, actually.
Where do you want to grow? Are you?
Oh, we're growing.
Okay.
We're growing. I started just by myself, and
mm-hmm.
I have 4 employees now. Sorry.
Yeah.
That some have been with me 2.5 years.
Wow.
So growing in that regard. But in the next 6 months, what I'm really excited about is having moved into my new office. I have a conference room.
This is it, right?
This is it.
It looks good. Your decorations are just
superb. Thank you.
You're an interior designer.
It was very stressful, believe me. Does this look right?
Again,
But yeah, exactly. It was another project I took on. But we have, in here you can tell too, we have a TV that connects to the internet, and we're going to be doing training for QuickBooks Online.
Oh, okay.
QuickBooks Online, they've been out for a long time. QuickBooks Online is if people are familiar with cloud terminology,
mm-hmm.
so QuickBooks Online is in the cloud, so you can access your accounting anytime, anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. And but they changed their platform. They've been out for 10 years now,
mm-hmm.
so they were one of the first to come out with accounting software in the cloud. But they changed the platform last year, and they've taken a year to change it, and they're actually have to change it now because of the other browsers and things. They have to change it, so they've changed the platform, and all clients will be on the new platform in August.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really different look.
But you can grab some of that market if you learn it. It's quick. I know you'll learn it, but
I've had many clients on QuickBooks Online already, and I've been on the new platform for a long time.
Okay.
And I think it's great.
Yeah.
But there's that learning curve. It's like, where is everything? Where do I go? And in accounting software in general, when you're not an accountant, can be very intimidating. So I want to take that away. I have a very calm way. Try to make accounting more simple.
Yeah.
And bring it down to a simple level, because I believe it can be that if you're taught this the right way.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're going to be having half-day sessions, training sessions, starting with QuickBooks Online, their new platform, and then doing QuickBooks Desktop, PC, Mac, and accounting in general. You know, if I'm going to put together a program too to try to put people's arms around bookkeeping and entering transactions into the bank account is one thing.
Yeah.
But there's different levels so that you can really get a better understanding of your business and how it's doing. That's where that cash versus accrual comes in.
Yeah.
So it's training like that, getting a little bit more in depth of what that means.
Okay. Yeah. Make it in plain terms.
So I'm excited.
Nice. I'm excited for you. We know you like new projects.
I do.
So can you go a little bit in depth about your personal development regimen? How many books a month do you read? Do you read articles? Do you subscribe to newsletters? How do you keep your knowledge up in accounting?
Mostly I go to conferences and seminars.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that they're live, engaging, and get the benefit from the speakers and the content at the conferences and the seminars, but also working with the professionals, that the other attendees at these events is so great to talk with them and get feedback from them on their business, on their practices, on what they do.
Yeah.
So it's funny you asked about the book. I did look for a book recently, and I couldn't find one. So
QuickBooks or
no, it was just from a business growth standpoint, and I didn't see one. So I've found these conferences really are good for me, and in so many ways. And also what was great about the last conference I went to just recently in June was it was Intuit, everything Intuit, and the speaker there was Frank Abagnale, who was the did you see Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's a great movie.
He's young.
Great movie. Yeah, he was young in that, but he, well, it's a long story, but he was actually one of the speakers there, and his story was fabulous, and he wrote a book on fraud prevention.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and reading that book. And so that's a book that, you know, I try to tell my clients about protecting their assets and setting up their processes and procedures. In small businesses, you have to wear many hats, and you don't have the benefits of I don't know if you've heard the term separation of duties. You don't have those benefits because you're one person, or you have a 2-person office, and it's using technology and applications to set your business up to protect yourself from embezzlement or fraud, and that was a great conference event from a person who he did it. He embezzled millions of dollars, and he was young, and what happened in his life just led him. He wasn't really, I don't think, having met him, he did it because of a need. He was 16 years old and he needed to live. And one thing just led to another. But he's really changed his life around. He believes, he thinks this is a beautiful world too. In that he got a second chance, and he's giving back.
That's good. Yeah.
So that was long answer to that.
No, it's good to hear that. People say, "Oh, I don't want to go to this self-help seminar. I don't think I need to learn anything else, or it costs too much to go to that conference." But I really see the value in those events. The people you meet at those events those are it's a lot. I've met a lot of great people at those events and done business at those events, and the people who are speaking. I mean, the content you take from it, it's good stuff. Yeah.
In fact, the last session, a lot of people leave from conferences early, right?
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
I stayed overnight, so I left the next morning, and the last conference at the event was, wow! It was. People left, and I was like, you should have been here, you should have stayed and listened to this one, because it was planning for succession. It was succession planning.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not anywhere near that, but it's good to think about. You know, I told you I like to learn and grow, and so it's like take it all in and
put
plan.
It in a bucket for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plan.
Nice. So succession. This is actually. Give me your definition of success.
I didn't. I think that would be. I don't look at it as. This is going to sound corny too. I think it's mind, body, and spirit. It's not all about the financial being.
No,
I mean, that definitely helps, but success is peace within.
Yeah.
Again, another corny
phrase. This is your definition. So
I just if you live a good life with integrity and good morals and things like that, I think you can just, it makes you feel good, and that just resonates with other people and makes them feel good too, hopefully.
Oh, that's good. That's a good answer. So how do you give back to our community? We run Rotary together, and so what are you doing now to give back?
I actually took on a new position. I'm on the board of the Las Trampas. It's they're an organization in Lafayette that services adults with disabilities.
Okay.
In different aspects of that, but they serve them adults, which I think is great, because I've seen that there's a lot of services and places for children.
Yeah.
And then they get to the 18, and then what happens?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just going to my first meeting actually this month, so it's very new. I'm excited too. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be great. There is a niche for that, because the orphanage system, and once they turn 18, it's kind of wide open for them.
Yeah, I think
and
they still need
so
support.
Fertile and still can be directed and guided. Yeah, nice. That's huge. Huge.
Thank you.
So recommend one personal development book and one business book for our listeners.
I just mentioned that the book isn't, the business book, and I don't.
No.
Not the books,
Okay.
no. Unless it's that The Art of Steel. I think that's Frank Abagnale's.
The Art of Steel?
The Art of Steel. Let's see. Yep, The Art of Steel by Frank Abagnale.
Steel as in the metal, or steel as in thievery?
Thievery.
Okay.
So it's a great, it's a good book from, a person who used to do it.
Yeah.
And how not to do it and how to protect yourself. And I think every business and individual, from, the identity theft now, I think it's a good read.
Okay. Nice. So how can we find more about you and what you do?
I have a
website.
Yeah, I have a good online presence. Website. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Intuit's ProAdvisor website as well.
Okay.
And
all right, and this is just one of my questions I made up here. So how do you're a giver. I can tell you're a giver. You like to do and help. How do you say no to certain things and people? Because us givers, we like to say yes, I'll help, I'll do this, I'll help you with that. But how do you say no?
Well, there's certain things I feel really strongly about. So we talked a little bit earlier about what cleanup means from a financial standpoint, and there's a process that I go through, and if a client wants to do things differently in that regard, I won't do it.
Oh, wow.
Because what I do works.
Yeah.
And I can't deviate from that, and I've actually told people that.
Wow.
That I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Yeah, even if they're giving you money.
Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I mean, you know, the
Yeah.
engagement was that, yeah, it would do that, but I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't deviate
Yeah.
from my process.
Yeah.
It for your benefit. You know, so
Yeah.
how can you argue from that? You know, and it's not
Exactly.
an argument either. It's just, you know, I have to do it a certain way.
Yeah. No, that's respectable. That's respectable.
So in that regard, that's an easy no for me.
Yeah. But how do you say no in your personal life to maybe a friend or family member that wants you to do something for them or help them out, or a charity wants you to take more time out of your life to help them out?
You know, I've learned over the years, that I do a lot of reflection as well on my life, and I do a lot of thinking, and I've told you, learning and growing. So I try not to react so quickly, though I still do. But I'm willing to look back and reflect and go, I think I did that wrong.
Yeah.
And next time I'm going to do it differently.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good self-reflection. That's good. So this is the last question,
Okay.
and it's always an interesting question because I get different answers. But if you had a friend that came into town and they were starving, where would you take them to get a bite to eat that best represents the Bay Area?
I think it would have to be somewhere with a view.
With a view.
With a view. We have, the Bay Area is such a beautiful place.
Somewhere in specific.
I would say, I'm going to say the Mark in San Francisco.
The Mark.
You got to be in San Francisco. You got to have a view of the bay and the bridges, and it's breathtaking.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Well, any last words or quotes or comments for our listeners?
Oh, you asked some good questions. I hope I gave some good feedback.
No, you did great.
Thank you. And so if you know, I'm on the web. I have a website. If you Google Morello Accounting Group or Diana Morello, you'll find me. And I encourage people to give me a call and set up an appointment. I do give a free initial consultation, so take advantage of that too.
Nice. Well, I just wanted to say thanks on behalf of our listeners, and I'm sure they got a lot of great takeaways. And Diana, I'll see you at the top.
All right, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.